Welcome to Uncaged. Today we are speaking with Clarence Rivette. Clarence, it's great to have you on the show.
Well, thank you, Bant. What a pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
This is going to be fun. So, Clarence, we're going to be talking about probably a topic that comes up over dinner every night in every home, and definitely every business. And it's really, we're going to be talking about real estate. Real estate's a big, big topic for every human on the planet. Clarence is the president of the Wirt-Rivette group, where he leads integrated financing, development, and consulting initiatives across commercial real estate and operating businesses. And so, Clarence, I'm really excited to talk with you. This is a topic that everyone wants to know more about. But before we get to the Wirt-Rivette story, let's talk a little bit about the Clarence story. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
Well, how I got started in business, Bant, was, with a Russian and East European Studies degree from University of Michigan in 1983.
Wow.
You really can't get a job. So I ended up talking to a few people and ended up becoming a naval officer in Naval Intelligence and Special Forces from 1983 to 1990 overseas in Washington, D.C. And Sarah and I moved back here to Michigan in 1990 to be close to our families. And I didn't have a job, and she did. So I found a company that gave me my first opportunity in business, and I had to learn from there. So that's really where it started after a military career.
That's amazing. I mean, I can only imagine 83, maybe not. Maybe Russian might have been tough. But a couple years later, a Russian degree would have been hot stuff, right?
Well, yeah. I know it kind of was back then because, 83 to 87 was the height of the Cold War.
Yeah.
And I was in Asia and they were doing their thing, the Soviets, and we were doing ours. And I had studied in the Soviet Union, 81 and 83, and then went to D.C. But then, in our career from a wife's standpoint, my standpoint, we decided that, we'd come back to Michigan and I had to figure out how to do business and then found some great mentors and chapters thereafter. And I've been here at the Wirt-Rivette Group for the last 20 years of 40-year company history.
Yeah, and for those that don't know Michigan or the Midwest, Clarence is in Saginaw, Michigan, which is probably one of the most beautiful places in the Midwest for sure. And certainly a place that a ton of folks from all over the Midwest head there in the summer to spend their summer holidays. Well, so tell me a little bit more now. You've built the Wirt-Rivette Group.
Yes.
Tell me more about what you guys are doing.
Well, it really starts with our team, Band, and we've got a young group that's here in Saginaw and then partners that are in Grand Rapids on the other side of our beautiful state. And we really look for deploying our capital in real estate, senior living, equipment. So capital is a tool in our toolbox, and we take risks associated with that. But at the end of the day, we have to create the opportunity in those different divisions to include real estate, as you and I talked a little bit earlier before. So it's about deploying capital and making smart investment decisions and finding the right partners to do that with.
Yeah, it's always the name of the game, trying to figure out how to structure the right deals and the capital allocations for those things. But tell me a little bit, when you're looking into the market today, where are you seeing some gold? Where are you seeing some good opportunities?
Well, everything takes work, right? And everybody thinks you can make a quick dollar in development, but it does take years. And what my partner Steve Wirt used to say, professional persistence, right? You cannot give up. And later this afternoon, we have a call of a new multifamily project in Grand Rapids that looks like it's going to go. We've got another multifamily project on the west side we're pushing dirt on currently. So certainly housing in Michigan is critical. And then we currently own and operate senior living as well. And senior living, the place where we provide care for seniors, is the only commercial asset class that has an underlying demographic as a tailwind because of the aging population. And we started down that path 15 years ago. And today we own and operate 20 senior living communities with over 700 employees here in Michigan.
Wow. I had a strange internship when I was in high school where I worked. It was it's called the Murdo Foundation in Chicago,
Okay.
set up by the Sarah Lee, some of the Sarah Lee family,
Okay.
and it was all about geriatric research, and it was all
Oh,
about
great.
kind of like what's happening with senior living. We all had to
Mhm.
work in various senior living facilities,
You
and
lived it.
it was a fascinating,
Hmm.
fascinating thing. And I see it now. I mean, obviously, I'm living this issue with my own parents,
Yeah.
and having those discussions and learning. But I mean, what a amazing area. So you and the team are playing in that space, and you're
Yes.
seeing that really as a growing area. What are you seeing that people are looking for in that space now? Has that shifted?
I would say it shifted, Bant, post-COVID because we saw a lot of operators who got into this business thinking, "Oh, I'm a builder. I can build a assisted living and then I can operate it." But COVID had heavy fatigue coming out of it, and so our significant growth the last 18 months has been through acquisitions of those assets, turning them around, and then rapidly stabilizing them, which moved us from 15 to 20 here in the last 18 months or so. And what people are looking for, I call senior living a life business. The life of the resident, the life of the caregiver, and the life of the family of the resident all have to come together 24/7. So they are looking to us to give them confidence to care for their loved one through the
Yeah.
aging process, right? Which is not easy because we know that changes and the strengths of our residents evolve over time. So the number one family issue is, do I have confidence in you to care for my loved one inside this building that we developed, bought, and currently own and operate too? So there's life stuff going on inside of those buildings.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Well, I mean, what an interesting career, Clarence. I mean, I love the military background, but I also love the way you guys have grown this business. Where do you find the passion and joy for the work that you're doing right now? What's kind of fueling your fire?
Our team, Ben. I have two partners in Grand Rapids, one of which joined me soon after I joined Steve 20 years ago as a college junior and said, I
Wow.
want to carry the Wirt-Rivette group flag to Grand Rapids. Then another college junior, 13 years, said, I want to go to Grand Rapids. He is a partner. My
Wow.
son came back from a career in Vietnam where he lived and worked, and he now runs our senior division that I just described. He's been with us 7 years. Donna next to me, 36 of 40 years. So
Wow.
creating things with people that have a passion to operate like partners, like Steve and I did, and follow that culture and spirit. I don't want to say it's easy to build buildings and put things up and make investments, but it's about who you do it with. So
Yeah.
that's my motivation is finding the right partners and developing the team to do that. And that's where the joy and passion come in.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken with some other developers, and there was a moment where I think the tariffs kind of presented some uncertainty. Tell me a little bit about how you guys navigate all of those fluctuations and that insanity.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's tariffs or COVID supply chain or a
Yeah,
combination of that or cost structures that are prohibitive today for us to build seniors. So we pivot and we look for distressed properties. Or we work with, a company that really wants a daycare center in a daycare desert area and they're willing to pay a little bit more to make sure that they can bring it because we know the long-term investment and the value is there. So our
right.
ability to create opportunities despite constraints or breakthrough constraints with what I call relentless execution, right? Not giving up.
Yeah.
Identify the constraint, engage relentless execution. You normally find the solution or a creative alternative.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I mean, it looks like I love the way you and the team think. It's kind of like you flip the coin depending
Right?
on how the economy will go. So either you're going to go after the distress stuff, or you're going to shoot for the moon with the growth stuff,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But as we look to the back half of this year, what are you seeing? What are the opportunities out there?
Well, we're very excited because we always focus on what can be, right? Not all of the noise that we don't have any ability to affect. And we are surrounded by that in today's economy, and that will continue. So we're excited about what can be. We are launching an institutional platform to our company that revolves around private debt, asset-based lending, and really looking at raising up to $50 million to engage equipment-backed financing, which we've done ourselves for 40 years. We have a number of initiatives in our real estate development division, daycare, senior living, housing, as I mentioned. Being able to diversify and then leverage our development strengths across those three investment activities, several of which we have underway, allows us to maintain that motivation. And for 40 years, we've leased equipment. So in a lot of the commercial buildings we do, there's equipment, and a lot of equipment owners would like to own a building. So the synergy between those two as well always gives us, options and opportunities, despite what many people could really get bogged down in relative to the realities of today's economy and the complexity of it.
Yeah. Well, Clarence, you mentioned one thing, and I find this interesting. You clearly have a business where you have long 10 years of employees, which is beautiful. Yes. You also have family members as part of this. How do you navigate that? How do you manage that kind of personal and professional, with family and things like that? What are your secrets?
Well, we look for people that are, that's a good question, man. We look for people that are, one, committed to each other, two, think of each other before they think of themselves, which is not easy. Three, willing to make sacrifices. And four, at times, you might see me write capital P partner in an email, and you'll think, now that should be a small p. But all of us consistently in our organization, the Wirt-Rivette Group and other partnerships, we operate like capital P partners. And what does that mean, Ben?
Yeah.
Well, we're in a conference room and the deal goes bad. And everybody wants to say, I'm going to be your best partner, Clarence. I'm going to be your best partner. But you never know if you have a capital P partner until a deal goes bad. Then you look around the room, Ben, and you see who's running for the door.
Yeah.
Rolling up their sleeves and pulling out the checkbook to say, we got to make it right. We got to pay the bank. How do we turn it around? That's your capital P partner. So you have to operate like you have them, but you never know if you do until the deal goes bad.
I love that. Well, I think you're obviously navigating it beautifully. It's one of those things where, when I look at certain markets around the world, we do a ton of work in Europe, and there are a lot of family businesses in Southern Europe that you come across, and it's just fascinating how they manage the process. But certainly, I think it's what you're talking about. You guys have essentially a respect and a trust across that team, and then that kind of, I think what you just hit on, which is that focus on the problem, right? Mm-hmm. You focus on the challenge collectively, right? Yep. And that's, I think that may be the secret to success, when it's not blamed on an individual or a point of weakness maybe, but you think about it collectively. I think that's the beauty. I love that. Well, Clarence, thank you so much for being on the show today. If there's someone that wants to reach you and learn more about what the Wirt-Rivette Group is up to, where's the best place to find you?
I'm really timely with my emails. ClarenceR@WRGMI.com. ClarenceR@WRGMI.com. And we always welcome the opportunity to mentor, coach, and be of support to people that just want to be better.
Excellent. Well, Clarence, I really love the story of what you've built. We've been speaking with Clarence Rivette. He is the president of the Wirt-Rivette Group, and we've been talking to him about his business. He leads the Wirt-Rivette Group. He leads the integrated financing, their development and consulting initiatives across commercial real estate and operating businesses. And we've been talking to him about all of the work they do on multifamily properties, healthcare infrastructure, senior living developments, commercial equipment plays. These guys are involved in everything. And I think there's a couple key lessons here. One is, staying nimble and attuned to the market to see where you need to go, right? So if you kind of listen to Clarence today, he was talking about, if the market's going this way, we're going to shift our resources. We're going to focus on these types of opportunities. And then the other thing is, in a world where we sometimes don't think enough about talent and holding on to talent and building a team on talent, key things here. Partnership, the big P in partnership.
Right.
Like you're all part of that team and you're working together. So Clarence, thanks so much for being on the Uncaged show today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you, Van, very much.
Cheers.